上陸用意だ野郎どもチャンスだ
Anime is one of those things that can definitely make you feel a mix of emotions and have you feeling great at the end. It somehow manages to get you pumped with all kinds of emotions, both good and bad ones. One of the best and most uncommon combinations of emotions a great anime can make you feel is hype and depression, which, despite being total opposites, make for some of the most badass scenes and characters ever. Hello, and welcome back to Anime Undisclosed, and today, we'll be counting down the top 10 anime where a kind MC gets depressed and turns evil and dark. Before we get down to the actual list, if you like these kinds of videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next time we put out a video you'd be interested in. With that said, sit back, relax, and let's get the depression hype combo going. Number 10. Darker Than Black. Starting off with this list, we have an anime that screams darkness and emo just by its name alone. But don't be fooled, it's actually a pretty great anime. The story follows Lee, or Hei, a normal guy who used to fight in the Heaven's War, which led to people developing crazy abilities, but at even crazier costs. These costs range from having to smoke every time you use your power, to breaking a finger, to literally having to cut yourself every time you use your power. Lee is a normal nice guy who lives next door, and does everything he can do to help out where he can. But he lives a double life, and his other name is Hei. Hei is a part of the group called the Syndicate, and works as an assassin with no emotions. He is a bit overpowered as well, as his power is electricity, and he seemingly has no cost to using said power. Or does he? Guess you'll just have to find out for yourselves. Number 9. Akame ga Kill.
お前が力不足ってこったはい恐れを知らぬ思い切りの良さまさかこの俺様に歯向かう奴がいるとは
At number 9, we have one of the biggest short-running animes out there, Akame ga Kill. Tatsumi would be the main character here, and although he isn't depressed for long in the story, in the first episode he makes an important shift. He was set on becoming a knight and making lots of money to save his struggling village. But he soon got introduced to the corruption inside the army, as well as found out that the Prime Minister is the one responsible for his village's struggles. He also found out about a group of assassins called the Night Raid, that is, fighting against the corrupted Prime Minister. This leaves Tatsumi confused, but not for long. While he's about to fight the Night Raid who have targeted the noble family he was protecting, he learns that this noble family is responsible for the poisoning of his two friends that he left the village with. This leads him into a mix of rage and depression, and he quickly chooses the side of the Night Raid, completing his first assassination right there on the spot, and joining the group. Just so you know, this anime is quite the heavy and feel hitter. You've been warned. Number 8. Monster.
ずーっとね、あなたとはゆっくり話がしたかった。もう逃げても無駄です。
Coming up at number 8, we have Monster, and it doesn't get any darker than this anime. Monster's on the verge of being considered a horror anime, but in reality, it's just a crazy thriller, with Stephen King motives. The kind MC who gets depressed here is Kenzo Tenma, a surgeon. You can't be kinder than that. Kenzo is a guy who's determined to save everyone, and he saves the life of Johann Lebert. His life and psyche take a huge turn, however, when it's revealed that Johann is a serial murderer, and this results in many other people paying for it. The hard-working surgeon enters a crippling depression, and the police start accusing him. His only option is to capture and expose Johann. This anime, although being brilliantly done, may be disturbing for some people. So beware. Number 7. Redo of Healer. At number 7, we have Redo of Healer. Now, whenever the whole premise of an anime is a revenge story, you know that the main character had to go through something bad. Redo of Healer is no exception. This anime literally tries to make you feel as bad for the MC as it possibly can. He's exploited and his body is taken advantage of multiple times because he's a healer class and can't fight back. Well, of course, that leaves a mark on his psyche, and he's quite the downer for a while. But then, when it turns out that the healer class is the most OP of them all, he goes in and shows all of his previous exploiters just what it can feel like. One downside of this anime is that it stretches the term heal quite a lot to make the MC overpowered. This guy literally heals the universe into a point where it wasn't as damaged, so he can time travel. Quite the ability, right? Number 6. Rising of the Shield Hero. Oops, it looks like instead of the healer, we time traveled forward to number 6, with the Rising of the Shield Hero. Now, these two anime are often compared. Both have an exploited MC that seemingly has a lame power, but is actually pretty OP. Both heroes get depressed, and both turn dark because of it. But despite the similarities, most people are positive that the Rising of the Shield Hero is way better, while Redo of Healer definitely brings more shock value to the table. That's pretty much all it does. While on the other hand, Shield Hero is probably one of the best new anime out there, exploring difficult philosophical and ethical questions and challenging the norm. Combine that with the badass fight scenes, and with the fact that Naofumi is a pretty lovable character on his own, and you might get an anime more than worth your time. Number 5. Black Lagoon.
行くあてはないな。
なあ、水夫を一人欲しがってるところがあるんだ。話を聞いてみる気はねえか？運送屋で
たまには誤報に触れることもする。そうだったな。
At number 5, we have Black Lagoon, the story of a Japanese businessman called Rokuro Okajima, who gets captured by New Age pirates and mercs, who live life day to day not thinking of tomorrow, as it may never come. Okajima is pretty depressed with his normal employee life, and then the circumstances force him to spend time with the pirates for a while. Something clicks in his mind, as the adrenaline is too addicting for him. He then decides to join the pirates, after he proves to them how crazy he can be by managing to launch them with a boat straight into a helicopter, and somehow managing to avoid certain demise. He also managed to drink on par with the best girl, Revi, and now that is a feat. Number 4. Goblin Slayer. Up next, we have Goblin Slayer, a fairly new anime that quickly became one of the biggest hits of its time. The character Goblin Slayer is a stoic badass that goes around and only slays goblins throughout his life. He's an expert, and knows their every trick. In the world of Goblin Slayer, however, there are many other beasts and creatures that would grant him more glory and power, but he chooses to only battle against these green troublemakers. It turns out, he's been nearly emotionless for most of his adult life, because the goblins terrorized his village when he was a kid, and he witnessed many horrible things done to the closest people around him, right in front of his eyes. Nowadays, he's dark and gloomy, but he's the ultimate badass, goblin slaying machine that we can definitely love to watch. Number 3. Tokyo Ghoul. Okay, now we're getting into the big 3 of anime, with depressed MC turned evil. Starting off at number 3, Tokyo Ghoul. The MC Kaneki had his life turned upside down while on a date with a girl. She turned out to be a ghoul and tried to eat his flesh. Talk about bad luck on Tinder. Anyways, he's badly wounded, and the only way to save him is for him to become half a ghoul. This makes his life insanely difficult, and has him meet many horrible people, which slowly but surely gets him into a darker and darker space until he finally snaps and unleashes the ghoul within. A masterpiece of an anime, and many consider it to be the best anime they've ever seen. Number 2. Attack on Titan. At number 2, we have Eren Yeager and Attack on Titan. Eren transformed not only from a human into a Titan, but from one of the most plain anime characters to one of the best anime characters throughout the course of the story. He's like the villain in wrestling. He's done some terrible things, but yet you can't help but love him. The world of Attack on Titan is enough to get anyone depressed. But Eren is quite the emotional kid, and even had hallucinations that led him to have shivers and seizures. He is regarded by many as one of the best protagonists in the story, and it would be spoilers if we explain exactly why. But you have our word on this one. And Attack on Titan is the most viewed anime in the world, reaching number 1 on my anime list. And that's definitely saying something. Before we reveal our top pick, if you like this video so far, please leave a like as well as subscribe to our channel in order to be notified for future videos you might be interested in. On Anime Undisclosed, we release new top 10 videos regularly, so if you like this one, there will definitely be something new coming for you. And now, with that out of the way, let's reveal the top anime where the MC gets depressed and turned evil dark. Number 1. Vinland Saga.
トールズに感謝するんだな。てめえらクソガキ100人でも釣りの苦しだ。
At number 1, we have the much-awaited Promised Land, Vinland Saga. Now, what's something that whenever the story is based around it, it always turns out cool somehow? You guessed it, Vikings. Vinland Saga is a story about Vikings, but not just any other story. Usually Viking stories follow the chief or an already established man with the power to rule. But this is an anime we're talking about, and nothing is ever the usual. Vinland Saga follows Thorfinn, a young boy who is forced to witness as his father gets shot and eliminated. He then swears to get revenge, but wants to do it in an honorable duel. He challenges his father's liquidator, but is too small of a kid to beat a whole adult. He then has to live under the man who took his father in order to survive and take revenge later in life. The story itself is brilliantly done, but the characters are just so insanely lovable. And who knows, maybe one day, we disclosers will fall as warriors and end up joining the YouTube Valhalla, where only great videos are shown. And that's it, disclosers. We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it. So what do you say? Do you agree with our list? Make sure to tell us down in the comments for any anime we might have missed that follows this trope. We'll see you in the next video, so have a great day, and see you then.